Hi viewers, a very good evening. You are watching the news on Sansad Television and I'm Rashika. Welcome to the daily updates of your national and international news. First, a look at the headlines of the day. Electioneering continues in Gujarat. Prime Minister Modi addresses public meetings in Palanpur, Modasa, Dehegam and Bavla. Opposition parties also intensify campaigning for 89 seats in the first phase. Mumbai Airport in Goa to be commissioned soon, says Prime Minister Modi at the employment fair organized by the government of Goa. Appeals to youth to work towards achieving the goal of building a new India. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar addresses International Year of Millets event in Delhi. High commissioners and ambassadors of over 60 countries take part. China's COVID-19 cases hit record high. Despite stringent measures, many major cities, including Beijing and trade hub Guangzhou, experience outbreaks. And Switzerland beat Cameroon 1-0 in Football World Cup. India and New Zealand to play first ODI in Auckland on Friday. A quick look now at today's important news in our flash segment. Unique Identification Authority of India urges entities to verify Aadhaar before accepting it as an identity proof. Asks state governments to sensitize entities. Except for gazetted holidays, Rashtrapati Bhavan to be open for public viewing for 5 days a week from December. Tours on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address closing ceremony of year-long celebrations of 400th birth anniversary of Ahom General Lachet Borphukan in New Delhi on Friday. At the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, India reiterates commitment to conserve tortoises and freshwater turtles during COP19. Election Commission team reviews preparedness for next year's assembly elections in Tripura. India well placed to grow at a moderately brisk rate in the coming years, says Finance Ministry report. Despite global monetary tightening, India to grow on the back of macroeconomic stability. Fugitive diamond merchant Nirav Modi seeks permission to appeal in the UK High Court against extradition order to India. India's coal production was 448 million tons in October, 18% higher than corresponding period last year. Government open to pro-farmer changes in the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in response to climate crisis and rapid technological advances. Brazil's Superior Electoral Court rejects President Jair Bolsonaro's appeal to invalidate results in national elections that he lost. And now look at the latest from the poll-bound state, Gujarat. With just a week for the first phase of polling in Gujarat, all parties are going all out to appeal to the voters. Leading BJP's poll campaign, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held several rallies in the state. He campaigned in Palanpur, Modasa, Dehegam and Bavla. Addressing a rally at Palanpur in Banaskantha district, Prime Minister Modi said the upcoming assembly elections will decide the future of Gujarat for the next 25 years. Prime Minister Modi said the BJP government is focusing on tourism, environment, cattle rearing, water and nutrition to develop the region.
જે આ ટૂંકા ગાળામાં આપણે જે હરણફાળ ભરી છે ને એના મૂળમાં બે બાબતો ખાસ છે, પાણી અને વીજળી. ગુજરાતની પાણી અને વીજળીની મોટી સમસ્યાઓનું આપણે સમાધાન કરી દીધું. અને આજે તો જે 20-25 વર્ષના જુવાનિયા હશે ને એમને તો ખબર નહીં હોય કે ભૂતકાળ કેટલો ભયંકર હતો અને ઉજ્જવળ ભવિષ્ય કેટલું સામે પડ્યું છે. આ 20-25 વર્ષના જુવાનિયા જરા ઘરમાં જૂના લોકોને પૂછજો, ખબર પડશે કે કેવા દિવસો કાઢતા હતા.
Speaking at a public rally in Modasa, Prime Minister Modi said that BJP is committed to empowerment of the tribals of the state. He said he wants to see people across Gujarat earning money from excess electricity generated from solar rooftop systems instead of getting it for free.
કે દિલ્હીમાં ગાંધીનગરમાં એવું જ અમારે ત્યાં પણ એટલે પહેલા કેટલીક સીટો નાનું મોટું કાચું કપાતું હતું જ્યાં કાચું કપાણું એમને ખબર પડી છે કે કાંઈ ફાયદો ના થયો આ ભાઈને મોકલ્યા હતા એનો હવે તો ભાજપ સિવાય કોઈને મોકલવા જ નથી.
Now more news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the Mopa airport in Goa will be commissioned soon. The airport is being built at a cost of 3,000 crore rupees. Prime Minister Modi virtually addressed the youth who were given appointments in Goa government departments during the Rozgar Mela organized by the state government. Prime Minister Modi appealed to the youth to work towards achieving the dream of a new India by 2047. He said that thousands of Goans have received employment during the construction of the airport. He added that the centre has invested thousands of crores for Goa's development in the past 8 years.
लगभग 3,000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से मोपा में बने नए हवाई अड्डे का लोकार्पण भी जल्द ही होने जा रहा है. इस एयरपोर्ट के निर्माण से जुड़े कार्यों में गोवा के हजारों लोगों को रोजगार मिला है. इसी तरह आज जो गोवा में कनेक्टिविटी के प्रोजेक्ट चल रहे हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के प्रोजेक्ट चल रहे हैं, उनसे भी गोवा के युवाओं को रोजगार के अवसर मिले हैं.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said millets have increasing relevance in the world today due to COVID, climate change and conflicts. He said this while speaking at the pre-launch of India's year-long celebration of International Year of Millets 2023 in New Delhi. He stressed that millets are important for food security as well as international relations. He also cautioned that climate change can lower production and disrupt trade. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said that India is one of the major producers of millets and the ministry is working in a mission mode to increase millets consumption and production. High commissioners and ambassadors to India from over 60 countries attended the pre-launch celebration.
शाकाहारी खाद्य पदार्थों की बढ़ती मांग के दौर में मिलेट वैकल्पिक खाद्य प्रणाली प्रदान करता है. मिलेट संतुलित आहार के साथ साथ सुरक्षित वातावरण में भी योगदान देता है. ये मानव जाति के लिए प्रकृति का उपहार है. भारत सरकार का कृषि एवं किसान कल्याण मंत्रालय, अन्य केंद्रीय मंत्रालयों, सभी राज्य सरकारों एवं अन्य हितधारक संस्थानों के साथ मिलकर मिलेट उत्पादन तथा खपत बढ़ाने के लिए मिशन मोड में काम कर रहा है.
Millets from the point of view of international relations and diplomacy. You know, international relations, probably if you look, why do countries have relations with each other? What is the starting point of international relations? I think it's a safe bet to say that it started with food security. That when you had collectives, territorial collectives, who wanted to deal with other collectives, their fundamental urge was really to secure their own food and to see if they could get food from others.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah participated in the 400th birth anniversary celebration of Ahom General Lachit Borphukan in New Delhi. He also inaugurated a documentary on Lachit on this occasion. Amit Shah said that if Lachit Borphukan had not been there, the entire Northeast would not have been a part of India today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the closing ceremony to be held tomorrow.
लसित बरफुकन जिस प्रकार से उनका जीवन रहा, वो न केवल एक सेनापति के रूप में, एक असीम देशभक्ति के मालिक, ऐसे देशभक्त के रूप में सराय घाट की लड़ाई को आज भी याद किया जाता है और आज भी याद किया जाना चाहिए।
And now a look at some more news from across the nation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired her 5th pre-budget 2023 consultations with the experts of services and trade in New Delhi today. The meeting was attended by Ministers of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary and Dr. Bhagwat Karan and Finance Secretary Dr. TV Somanathan, along with senior officials. Amid an increase in measles cases, the centre directed the states and UTs to consider administering an additional dose of measles and rubella vaccines to all children aged 9 months to 5 years in vulnerable areas. Measles cases recently increased in districts of Bihar, Gujarat, Haryana, Jharkhand, Kerala and Maharashtra. The Supreme Court has launched its online portal for people to file RTI applications. The portal can be used only by Indian citizens to file RTI applications, first appeals and to make payments for fees, copying charges and much more. Earlier, RTI applications to the Supreme Court had to be filed physically. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and her husband and son joined Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the party's massive outreach program currently progressing through Madhya Pradesh. Senior Congress leader Sachin Pilot also took part in the yatra that resumed from Borgaon village in the state. And time for a short break. See you on the other side with more news updates.
India has just been elected as the new chair of the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, or GPAI.
Artificial intelligence is basically being the ability of a machine or a computer to do tasks that we typically associate with human intelligence.
Digital transformation projects that we have implemented in India, which are commonly known as India Stack. So India is regarded as a country which has a lot of strength in implementing technology projects.
Welcome back to the news. Now let's take a look at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine crisis. News for today from the war zone. UN Security Council members called on Russia to stop attacking Ukraine after Moscow unleashed a new missile onslaught on Ukraine's energy grid on Wednesday. The emergency meeting in New York was held after Ukrainian president instructed Ukraine's ambassador to the UN to request for it. US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield accused Russian President Putin of weaponizing winter to inflict intense suffering on the Ukrainian people. Russian Ambassador Vasily Nebenza said strikes are being carried out against energy and other infrastructure, which is used for military supplies to Ukrainian units. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed to the United Nations Security Council to take action to stop Russian airstrikes. Zelensky said that Russia launched 70 missiles on Ukraine on Wednesday, targeting hospitals, schools, transport infrastructure, and residential areas. Calling it the Russian formula of terror, Zelensky said Ukraine is waiting to see a very firm reaction to Wednesday's airstrikes from the world. He also called for Russia to be denied a vote on any decision concerning its actions. The World Health Organization's European director spoke out against Russian strikes on Ukrainian healthcare facilities. Touring several hospitals in the city of Dnipro, Hans Kluger said that he was saddened and outraged about the attacks. He also labeled them a very clear breach of international law. Kluger said that at least 700 medical facilities have been targeted in Ukraine since the beginning of the invasion in February. 36 people returned to Ukraine on Wednesday as part of a prisoner exchange with Russia. Ukrainian authorities said that Azovstal defenders as well as members of the National Guard captured during the first days of the Russian invasion were part of the exchange. In total, 22 members of the National Guard, 8 border guards and 4 Navy soldiers and 1 representative of the armed forces of Ukraine have been exchanged together with 1 civilian. Russian sources reported that 35 servicemen returned from the Ukraine as part of the exchange. And now time to look at some other news from other parts of the globe. Malaysian opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim was appointed Prime Minister on Thursday. The Sultan's Palace said a general election on Saturday ended in an unprecedented hung parliament with neither of 2 main alliances, one led by Anwar and the other ex-premier Muhyiddin Yassin, immediately able to secure enough seats in parliament to form a government. Here are more details.
Malaysia's king on Thursday named reformist opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim as country's prime minister, ending days of uncertainty after divisive general election produced a hung parliament. Sultan said 75-year-old Anwar will be sworn in as nation's 10th leader at the palace at 5 p.m. Anwar's Alliance of Hope led Saturday's election with 82 seats, short of the 112 needed for the majority. An unexpected surge of ethnic Malay support propelled former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin's right-leaning National Alliance to win 73 seats, with its ally Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party emerging as the biggest single party with 49 seats. The stalemate was resolved after a long ruling bloc led by the United Malays National Organization agreed to support a unity government under Anwar. His Royal Highness reminds all parties that the winners do not win all and the losers do not lose everything, a palace statement said. The monarch urged Anwar and his new government to be humble and said all opposing parties should reconcile to ensure a stable government and end Malaysia's political turmoil, which has led to 3 prime ministers since 2018 polls. The palace statement said the king was satisfied Anwar is the candidate who is likely to have majority support, but didn't give details of the new government. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
The company that assembles Apple Inc.'s iPhones apologized on Thursday for what it said was a technical error that led to protests by employees over payment of wages offered to attract them to a factory that is under antivirus restrictions. Protests erupted on Tuesday in the central city of Jiangsu after employees complained Foxconn Technology Group required they do extra work to receive the higher pay promised by recruiters. Here is a report.
An angry crowd on Thursday hurled barricades and other objects at security personnel near a Foxconn facility in China after unrest among workers. In a statement, the company later apologized for an input error in the computer system and promised that the actual pay will be the same as agreed and the official recruitment posters. The company also promised to try its best to actively solve the concerns and reasonable demands of employees. Some workers had complained that they were forced to share dormitories with colleagues who had tested positive for COVID-19. Foxconn is trying to rebuild its workforce after thousands of employees walked out last month over complaints about unsafe conditions. Foxconn is the biggest contract assembler of smartphones and other electronics for Apple and other global brands. The dispute comes as the ruling Communist Party tries to contain a surge in coronavirus cases without shutting down factories as it did in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. Its tactics include closed-loop management or having employees live at their workplaces without outside contact. The protesting Jiangsu come amid public frustration over restrictions that have confined millions of people to their homes. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Meanwhile, Chinese authorities tightened restrictions amid a record high number of COVID-19 infections on Thursday. Malls and shops were shuttered in the capital city, with authorities imposing localized lockdowns and other curbs that many residents said have extracted a toll on them. Take a look.
China is expanding virus lockdowns as its number of COVID-19 cases hit a daily record. Workers in parts of Beijing were loudly drilling and building metal barricades to keep people in their apartment complexes. People can only go out to buy food or get medical treatment. When coming or going almost anywhere, people need to show and scan their health QR codes. Across China, the National Health Commission reported 31,444 cases on Thursday. That is the highest daily during the pandemic. The daily average of reported cases is steadily increasing. This week, authorities reported China's first COVID-19 deaths in 6 months, bringing the total to 5,232. While cases and deaths are relatively low compared to the US and other countries, China's Communist Party remains committed to its zero COVID strategy that aims to isolate every case and eliminate the virus entirely. Beijing earlier closed shopping malls and office buildings and suspended access to some apartment compounds. The Communist Party is trying to contain the latest wave of outbreaks without shutting down factories and the rest of its economy, as it did in early 2020. Its tactics include closed-loop management, under which workers live in their factories with no outside contact. A total of 6.6 million people were told to stay home for 5 days on Thursday in 8 districts of Zhangao. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Now in more international news, Nepal Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deoba's Nepali Congress-led ruling coalition was on Thursday on its way to winning Nepal's parliamentary elections and has bagged 40 seats out of the 65 declared so far. Of the 275 members of parliament, till now the Nepali Congress has won 25 seats and is leading in 31 more. The main opposition CPN UML, led by former Premier KP Sharma Oli, has won 15 seats and is leading in 29 states. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Thursday chose Lieutenant General Asim Munir as the new army chief to succeed incumbent General Kumar Javed Bajwa, ending the suspense over the key appointment. Bajwa, 61, is scheduled to retire on 29th of November after a three-year-long extension. Lieutenant General Sahir Shamshad Mirza had been picked as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee. Western diplomats and the UN Human Rights Chief appealed on Thursday to Iran's government to halt a violent and bloody crackdown against protesters at a special Human Rights Council session to discuss a bid for greater scrutiny of the country's deteriorating rights situation. Iran's envoy in response criticized it as a politically motivated initiative. The Human Rights Council was set to debate and vote on a proposal to set up a team of independent investigators to monitor human rights in Iran as protests continue. A writer who accused former President Donald Trump of rape filed an upgraded lawsuit against him Thursday in New York, minutes after a new state law took effect, allowing victims of sexual violence to sue over attacks that occurred decades ago. E. Jean Carroll, a longtime advice columnist for Elle magazine, first made the claim in a 2019 book, saying Trump raped her in the dressing room of a Manhattan luxury department store in 1995 or 96. Trump has denied the claim. The Energy Affairs Council convened in Brussels on Thursday to look into energy package proposals, including the divisive static gas price cap and renewable energy projects. Much of the EU's 27 countries came to the table with critical positions on the Commission's cap proposal. The 15 countries which signed the letter in September in favor of a cap on gas agreed on a unified position. Now time for a quick sports update with focus on the FIFA World Cup. With the ODI World Cup less than 12 months away, New Zealand and India begin their 3-match series in Auckland from Friday. Teams are now building towards the global event to be played in India next year. India beat France in a thrilling tiebreaker to enter the semi-finals of the FIDE World Team Chess Championship being played at Jerusalem. Real Mbolo's strike at the start of the second half gives Switzerland a 1-0 win against Cameroon in Group G. The Group H match between the first World Cup winners, Uruguay and South Korea, ends in a stalemate. Match ends in a goalless draw. In another Group H match, Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal will take on Ghana at Doha Stadium 974 in a short while from now. Ferran Torres scored twice. 18-year-old Gavi became the youngest Spanish goal scorer in a World Cup, and Spain made history scoring 7 for the first time in a World Cup match against Costa Rica. A single moment of brilliance from Michy Batshuayi handed Belgium a narrow 1-0 win over Canada in their World Cup Group F encounter Wednesday night. That is a wrap of the bulletin. Keep watching Sansad Television for more updates. Good night.